G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an anti-air missile launcher. This is a man-portable, multi-barreled, unguided rocket launcher with the express purpose of shooting down low-flying enemy aircraft, which would mean vertibirds in this game because there's not really that much else in terms of aircraft, but we can stretch the definition out a little bit. We're not tracking any heat signatures, so we can include bloatflies, blood bugs, and stingwings onto that as well. Sure, why not? This ain't no Stinger missile system, no. This is actually based off a real-life launcher called the Fliegerfaust, which is a German weapon. Hang on, German? Yes, the German Fliegerfaust was a World War II era launcher that was originally produced in 1945. The whole idea behind this launcher was, you know, those allied planes are causing us strife when they do their strafe runs on the ground, so we need to come up with a cheap solution to shoot them out of the sky. So they come up with this. You go and get a brigade of these guys pointing their 20mm rockets in the air, and once that American bastard's plane gets close enough, then we open fire, we shoot him down, and then the boys in the armored division will shout us drinks when we get to the bar. Unfortunately, the Fliegerfaust was not a very good weapon. It just didn't have the range capabilities to actually take down aircraft. But here's the thing, we're not going to be shooting at aircraft. Also, side note, Fliegerfaust roughly translates into pilot fist. How awesome is that? They got the naming conventions down pat at least. Okay, back to the game now. So the anti-air missile launcher features custom sounds and animations. During the reload, you'll just be replacing the barrel assembly with a fresh one with the rockets already loaded in. Pretty simple stuff. This thing is fed by the standard vanilla game missiles, but with some modifications, which we'll look at more in depth later. You'll be utilizing the Munitions rockets. But it's also worth mentioning that if you don't want to use the Munitions, there's a version that uses vanilla ammo and standalone rockets. There's also a weapon overhaul systems patch for this as well. Okay, attachment time, and we're starting off with the receivers here, which is funny because there's no receiver options like this for the vanilla missile launcher, so this is new. First of all, you've got the standard receiver, just normal, and then you've got the tuned receiver, which will give you a rate of fire boost and a reload speed as well, which would be handy. Probably not for this one though, because we've got just the 2 shots in the magazine here, so it's probably negligible, but there's probably better attachments for that one. There's options for armor-piercing receiver here. Obviously, it pierces through armor a little bit better, causes a little bit of bleed damage on explosions as well, at a cost of reduced direct damage. There's an improved version of that in the penetrating receiver. A calibrated receiver gives you better crit damage, so if you want to VATS max with this thing, then it's a totally valid option, so yeah, you can have a better crits. Hardened receiver for just overall better damage. Not a huge amount, but enough to boost the DPS over 2,000 if that tickles your neurons. Then you've also got an improved calibrated capacitor, hardened piercing, hardened calibrated, so we're melding a couple of these, and then we've got the powerful ones, powerful piercing, powerful calibrated, and advanced receiver for epic damage. Doesn't seem to be anything better than that one in terms of its power. Looks like the DPS on this thing is overdone by the advanced receiver, but we've got a better fire rate there. Again, perhaps a little wasted on the over-under double barrel version, but it looks like the choices here aren't so cut and dry. So do you want superior DPS with the faster rate of fire, or do you want slightly more efficiency in your projectiles doing more damage? So yeah, the choices here aren't cut and dry. I quite like that. That is nice. Next, we'll go over to the barrels. So you've got the A versions of these attachments, which are your standard basic ones. Then you've got the B ones, which are your intermediate levels. And then you've got advanced at C. You've also got options for smart versions of these things, which use a tracking system similar to that of a vanilla game missile launcher. It also adds this little computer on the other side of your launcher there too, so that's kind of cool. I quite like how boxy that is. That sort of works with the aesthetic, and we get into javelin areas with this one with the smart rockets. That's cool, but honestly, I'm way smarter than this targeting computer, so we're just gonna go for a 12-cell rocket. And if you want to make this thing a genuine Fliegerfaust, then you can use the 9-cell rockets. This amount of barrels makes it a little bit more accurate to the source material, so if you're a stickler for the details, then that's what you want. Next up, you've got the sights. You can have the standard iron sights, which appear to be just a modified version of the vanilla missile launcher's iron sights, and you've got glowing versions of those, which add a little glowing prong to your front post, and then you've got options for reflex sights in many different forms. Chevrons, dots, jacks. There's like a Jack and Daxter. I'm not actually sure what that shape is. Is that like a trajectory display thing. That's actually kind of cool. I can just see that. If you're on a phone screen, then you'll have to take my word for it. There's also an option for a star. That's cool. And a spider, like a Torg sight from Borderlands. We'll back the spider in. There's also options for a scope, night vision, and also a recon variety as well, which is that the scope from the assault rifle? If so, that is applied magnificently. It looks like it fits in just perfectly. We've also got an option for a legendary effect if we feel like it, provided by a legendary modification. We'll skip over that. And now you can do the fire mode, which you can have in full auto, which is a player-only thing. It gives you a 10-round burst in VATS, which gives you the effect of making it consume very little AP points when you use this thing in VAFs, because you don't have to commit 10 rounds to a single VATS burst, so that's going to make it lots of fun and a little bit cheesy. But there's also a repeat auto thing. That's the one that NPCs can use. A single shot in VATS presumably eats up more AP, so we'll go with the cheese one, and that gives us 5,000 DPS. Very, very strong indeed. And you've also got a bunch of paints for this thing. On Brotherhood of Steel, this thing will make more sense as we get into the uniques that you find in this thing. There's also options for a desert. It gives us a nice little tan effect there. If you've got a environment replacer that makes everything a desert, then it'll feel right at home. This one's a Minuteman in blue. I think there's a Minuteman symbol somewhere, perhaps not on the 12-barreled version of this thing. There's also a winter one, which is all white, so if you play this thing on Frost and you've somehow managed to get your hands on this thing, then you'll blend right into the scenery. Let's go for Brotherhood of Steel, why not? And that is our tactical overpowered anti-air rocket launcher, Charlie. And that is it for you, Ayla. Thanks, but Raine will take it from here. The anti-air missile launchers are injected onto the level list at level 30. You'll find them in vendors and anywhere you'll find missile launchers, particularly with gunners. And they're also integrated into the legendary loot pool, so you can get a two-shot one. Actually, no, two-shot isn't allowed on launchers. Unless you get the big boy, but that's neither here nor there. The first of the uniques we'll be looking at today can be found in the Fort Strong Armory sub-basement, which is located here on the map for reference. You've got the Pridwin there. You come here during Show No Mercy with the Brotherhood of Steel, and you'll end up fighting your way here, so you probably know this place. It's one of the quest lines. But one of the odd things about this mod is it's an anti-air launcher designed to shoot aircraft, but a lot of these uniques are in Brotherhood locations, which is kind of odd. Unless you intend to double cross them, you have to arm yourself with a bunch of anti-air missile launchers to shoot no aircraft because they're all allied to you, but that's a nitpick. So what you want to do is just head down here, and we've started just from the elevator, and just keep going all the way down here and keep going. And in the end, you'll find the forklift truck with a bunch of nukes stacked in, and you'll find the Davy Crockett launcher and the schematics for it. The M43 Davy Crockett works stellarly. Shame General Brock passed it off because it wasn't powerful or flashy enough. Said that he wanted something that makes our boys in power armor look courageous as they march through the nuclear fires, not to seem like cowards taking nuclear pot shots from a distance. Okay, so this must be in the relation of developing the actual catapult nuke launcher known as the Fat Man. He made us work with the WD-545 though. The rocket power and guidance makes it possible to make the nuclear charge even larger. Great, thanks. There's also a bunch of floating mini nukes here for you to probably feed the thing. They're probably a crafting ingredient in making the rockets for this thing. But yeah, all of this stuff is there's even a bunch more supplies here. That's added by the mod apparently. So yeah, you can get some food and drink while you're here grabbing your big old rocket launcher. Okay, so according to the mod page, at the castle after old guns, Ronnie Shaw will be selling you a special javelin version of this thing featuring like a top attack thing, so that'd be cool to witness. But unfortunately, through this long list, I can't find it. And check out how many guns she's carrying. She is absolutely stacked. I've never seen so many guns. I've combed through this, I've sorted for value, sorted for weight, can't find the javelin. However, there's the ammo. The ammo exists, so the javelin ballistic missiles, they're pretty expensive, but we'll take them. And there's also options for the schematic of it. So if I buy the schematic, maybe I'll be able to craft it. Or maybe I could just look in the armory and find the javelin missile launcher just sitting on the shelf. Also, next to it is the Rifle of Independence, who is not happy that I took away its friend. But yeah, it pays to have a look around sometimes. The next unique can be located within Sentinel Site Prescott, which is that giant pyramid in the glowing sea. There it is. If you've done the Brotherhood of Steel questline, this is the bit where you do the thing and then blind betrayal starts. But we won't go into spoiler territory. This game's only been out for almost 10 years. Anyway, so on this wall here, the southwest facing wall of your armory section where it stores all the Liberty Prime nukes, you'll find Castle Bravo, which is a reference to the biggest nuclear device that America has ever detonated. A big mushroom cloud, you know, and there's also supplies, schematics here. The M43 Davy Crockett. Wait a minute, I've already read this. Okay, the flavor text is it tastes the same as the Davy Crockett thing, and maybe that means I won't be able to craft any of this, but we've got console commands, so don't worry about it. Now, onto the ammos. I had to go on the Creation Club to look this up, but you'll find the Jericho Merv schematics on Corbett. That's your gun shop guy in the Nuke World DLC, so if he's dead, good luck. Oh, that's completely free too. Okay. On the mod page, it also lists Cricket as selling the Merv missiles, and it ought to be here, but it isn't. Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete. Okay, Proctor Teager doesn't let me down. He's got the plan for ballistic missiles, the Firestorm variants. Thank you. But wait, there's more. There's also 2 unique legendaries that you can receive. The first one is located within the Institute, where the shopkeeper now kind of hasn't forgiven me for turning this place into a pack of smoldering rubble, but apparently the rest of the place is fine. It's okay. So we'll just have to use console commands to open up his shop, and therein we'll find Nuclear Family, Mummy, Daddy, and the Lil Shit. Fires 3 projectiles, each deals an extra 35 radiation splash damage, reduce damage and fire rate by 25%, and reload speed by 15%. But obviously offset by the massive amount of damage that you get from this. And the Jericho Merv with this, you can bring the extended family, so okay. We've got the schematics for that, so that'll be interesting to see how that's going to work. Also, this thing's worth 108,000? Really? Wow. Okay. I got enough caps for it, but crikey, that is expensive. And the last unique we'll be finding today is located within the confines of the Adam Cat's Garage, which is located very south of the map. You've got a Spectacle Island here, the castle there, and then like Diamond City is all the way up here, so it's pretty out there. But when you get here, find Rowdy, and she'll have something special for you. Probably not as expensive as the one we found in the Institute. Yeah. Just let me shop, please. And this is Tina's Party Crasher, yet another Tiny Tina reference from a T6M mod, so someone's got a favorite character. Shut up, Jeremy, you're ruining my special day. 25% faster fire rate and 50% faster reload. Improve that hit chance with 25% less AP cost. Full auto mode does double fire rate on ADS. Okay, fascinating. Anyways, so can we actually afford that? Yes. Okay, back to the workbenches now. I've done a bit of tinkering with our ballistic launchers. That's what these ones are called. So this Davy Crockett rocket launcher, I've put an overpowered receiver on. There's also options for a nuke version of this thing, which will do more damage than your standard mini nuke version. Also will change the flavor of the nuke. There's also you can put the Javelin missile on this one, the Firestorm missile, which is just another top attack ballistic missile that rains down napalm on them. Nice. There's also a smart version of the Davy Crockett rocket launcher with a tracking ability. That's a mini nuke they've stuffed in there. That's I feel uncomfortable pointing that at the camera, even though it's a video game screen. Cool. Also, I've done up the advanced receiver on Tina's Party Crasher with the 12 rocket thing and the full auto thing, so that DPS is now almost 6,500. Nuclear Family, overpowered receiver, kept the triple missile barrel, and it also says if you put a Jericho Merv with this, you can bring the extended family. Okay, I've just went back and given myself the Merv schematics because, unfortunately, Cricket didn't cough up, and I've attached it to the Nuclear Family because this thing told me to. And once you attach that, it erases all the attachments and you just get the zoom from this thing. So we'll go for like a 4x zoom. I don't think we'll need anything more than that, right? Right. So on the chemistry workbench, provided you've got all of the schematics for these ammo types, you can craft them. So the Firestorm ballistic missile requires 5 missiles. The Castle Bravo requires 5 mini nukes. A Javelin, the same as the Firestorm. And the MIRV ballistic missile requires 8 MIRV grenades and heavy gunner rank 4 to do. It's a steep price. MIRV grenades aren't exactly common. Alrighty, so we're outside of Immersive Gunners Plaza now, and here is our anti-air missile launcher in first person with that cool spider sight, which might block your vision a little bit, but precision is merely optional with a weapon with explosive damage like this. Now, I've changed it to a triple barrel missile launcher here just because it'd be pulling the same duties as Tiny Tina's launcher and it'd be doing it worse. So I've chosen to just have this with 3 missiles instead. There's your reload animation, looks pretty cool. This thing is not massive, but it's not going to be small enough to make it look puny and tiny in power armor. So yeah, pretty good size, can't really complain about that. Here is our Davy Crockett launcher, complete with the nukes. Take that, car husk. You'll notice how it fires on a flat trajectory too, so you'll have to aim exactly where you want this thing to go, and provided you got line of sight, then you're laughing. Next, we've got Javelin, which will fire a top-down attack. If there's anything over here, we'll find something. You know, it flies up, and then if it locks onto something, then it'll come down in a blazing fire of glory. That looks like the same asset from the mini-nuke that you threw from the submarine after you get the beacons from that quest line. And that leaves us now with this nuclear family. Sure is, with the MIRV. So same deal, but this one will rain lots and lots of missiles everywhere. A little bit like the Sentry Bot projectiles. Heaps of spread, but I'm thinking if I lock onto someone, that'll all be focused on one target, which is like hitting someone with all 9 shots in your Wasp. It's even pissed off those gunners over there. Lovely. And lastly, I've got the Firestorm launcher here because, yeah, I've just made myself on the ballistic launcher. So we'll see how that one goes. Oh, it looks like fireworks. How pretty. Oh, that's neat. Nice little fire show over there. Cool. Okay, so let's start off with the Javelin. I haven't got a lot of these shots, but I'll try to make good use of them. We'll go for that turret. It's got a reliable heat signature we can track. Oh. How about that one? Maybe a sneak critical. We'll be sneaky. Don't know. I thought we'd be seeing a little bit more out of this thing. It's good damage, to be sure, yes, and I'm doing it from a really safe place back, but I wanted a little bit more bang for my buck, especially since we've got an overpowered receiver on this thing. Maybe my expectations are a little bit too high. Let's go over to our triple barrel monster. Now that is more like it. Sometimes the direct approach is what's best. Now, I wonder how we go in VAST with this thing. It's pretty decent. Nothing to complain about there, but we could be going better, of course. But honestly, for its purpose and the amount of damage we're getting per shot out of this, I feel like it's quite good enough, yes. And that turret's annoying me. Ooh. Was that recoil or the distortion from the shockwave or the explosion in slow motion that threw my aim off? So now we're in crit town. Everything's being critted, so we'll put this away. Maybe pop a fresh magazine in it, and we'll go over to our Nuke version. Let's see if I can thread the needle here. Nice. I got both of them too. Should be able to bounce splash damage easier from this thing. Yeah, this thing's hitting for 7,000. This is doing far better than the Javelin. No, I expected a little bit more from the Javelin. Very disappointed. See, this is way easier when you're not shooting down like P-51 Mustangs that are targeting your Panzer ranks. The weather report from the Commonwealth has come in, and it's a pretty cold day today. See, we're wearing a jacket, you understand, so pretty cold in the grand scheme of things. So, we're going to help the gunners a little bit. We'll keep them nice and warm with some Hellfire. We'll see how this one goes. And here it comes. There we go. Now everyone's nice and warm and toasty. Especially that traffic light. Looks like we're doing danger close with our own rockets. Okay. Unfortunately, it takes 2 business days shipping to actually get these projectiles to touch down, but I mean, the cool factor is there. The effectiveness factor has gone missing, so perhaps we use something a little bit more direct. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. We'll get these gunners that are immediately charging us off our backs for a moment. So now I can run around in slow motion, blowing these guys up. Gun Fu has definitely started. We're getting a bunch of rolls of Grim Reaper's Sprint, and we're laughing. Check out the AP usage on this thing. Absolutely nothing. So we'll be looking into using that one a little bit later on, but the rate of fire on this thing, especially when you aim down sights, like blink and you'll miss. Goodbye magazine. Okay. Nuclear family, go. Alright, come on, give me something here. Give me something good. Okay. Well, we're definitely tossing gunner limbs around, but perhaps I'm not doing this at a range that is feasible. It's like they're tracking their own heat signatures of the explosion as they're going along. Okay. Cool in concept, but probably a little bit... Oh, well, that's just hitting a corpse. It's just rising up. Oh, okay. So we're following the corpse, and the corpse is being blown sky high, and the missiles decide that they're not quite dead yet. So I may have pushed this a little bit too far. So we'll maybe reassess our explosions and whatnot. Maybe pick on a attachment that's more fitting of a triple shot roll. But for now, we'll go back over to our glorious Tiny Tina blaster. Gotta make sure we're not in the explosion radius. Definitely feeling the heat of the explosions, but none of that fragmentation, none of the damage. No, that's a feral ghoul. Must have gotten caught in some of the splash damage, because normally that guy's pretty friendly with me. We'll just carpet bomb the general area. Give them the old Vietnam treatment. You see any movement in the trees, just shoot napalm or explosives or what have you in that direction. And soon enough, the Viet Cong will be at peace or in pieces. Okay, here we go. I was hoping I was going to fly even further, but the slow motion grappling hook, sometimes the velocity just stops. Here's what it's like in VATS, by the way. Nice. I realize I've been pretty much using this thing exclusively in VAF, so we'll go in real time for a second. I'm in disbelief at how fast this thing fires. It's crazy. It's so fast. No surprise that the DPS is as high as it was rated. But I'm more interested to see how this is going to go against the bosses later on. So the real meat of the video is coming up, because yes, anything can kill a bunch of gunners, and there's some combat music for you. A little bit late for that, I think, but yeah, that was good. Obviously, it crushed everything. Varying effectiveness, very cool in concept. The javelin and things that fired the projectile that went straight up and blanketed the area in explosions or fire. Not as effective, but the cool factor was there, so what else can you ask for? Okay, Mr. Swan, let me lay this down to you in words that you'll understand. It's called explosions. Total whiffer. Let me just get some crits, make sure these shots actually hit. And now we can witness the power of this VATS burst, which I've maxed out without getting anywhere near the max AP usage. And 2 more after he's already dead, just for double tapping purposes. Yeah, that's powerful. Let's move on to something a little bit more dangerous. Checkmate, Mr. Ghoul. He survived. I thought I one-shotted him. Well, survive this. No, that did the job. Excellent. I don't know, maybe the exorbitant cost of this weapon is justified by the fact that I crushed him. But the real juice in this burg is this bloody mosquito prick. He's going to die a very painful, horrible death. He survived. It looked like he only took a minuscule amount of damage, but he is definitely mutated after that. Yes. Oh dear, is someone getting ragdolled? No! No! Stop eating me, prick. Oh, he spat my blood back at me. Well, that's rude. If you're going to bother to eat my blood, okay, now you're getting a little bit too close to me. At least digest it, not waste it by hucking blood loogies at me. Okay, well that was a successful venture, I think. There's yet one ghoul left.
Calm down, you freak.
Now he's a friend. How you going? It's a little baby Wendigo. God, you're ugly. You look like the thing that they take screenshots with the mod. Okay, so how does the missile launcher variant fare against a giant building-sized Mirelurk Queen? Well, if we can hit these shots, I feel like we're going to be doing a pretty good job against this beastie. Gotta say, I feel like the rockets are fairly high velocity compared to the vanilla variants too, so that's helpful. I won't say no to that. If we just hammer this thing in vats for a while, looks like we're getting consistent staggers on it, so there is nothing she can do. Have a crit for good measure. Okay, what about if we cook the thing before we harvest its meat? I think I've got to stall her somehow. If I mean, she's leaving behind a trail of fire. Ah, that'll do the job. We'll just angle it into her face by shooting down here. Perfect. I can smell the cooked crab already. Unfortunately, it's not really doing much for me. Nah, don't punch me, please. Well, that one's going to absolutely nowhere. Okay, last chance, Javelin. Make me proud. Okay, I think I hit for over 1,000 damage just then. No, I didn't. Excuse me. Hey, it's aircraft. Maybe I'll shoot those guys. Alright, stay still for a second. And please don't follow too closely. Alright, I think I got him. Okay, I think that's enough playing around. Let's finish this. Yeah, I've brought out the big one now and you're on the run. Unfortunately, being the size of like 3 double-decker buses all stacked together, you're not exactly a hard target to miss. Okay. Well, that silliness out of the way, I think that'll be the video. So if you want to see this weapon in your game, check out the link in the description. It'll be down there. Worth having a look at if you are into some overpowered weaponry.
Stop right there.
Good dog. But I think you get the point. So that there was the anti-air launcher, and it was an interesting weapon to use because it was very inconsistent. Some of the mod potential is really powerful, and then the others, like the Javelin and all those top things, they're just not all that great. So, you know, depending on how you mod this thing, it could either be the best weapon ever or something that's just sort of more of like a gimmick, unfortunately. So that stuff can all be adjusted if the modder wants to have a look at that to make him a little bit better or at least a little bit more consistent. But it's worth having a look at. A lot of fun to use and something that is potentially lore-friendly as well. So you could argue that. And with plenty of scavenger hunting to keep you busy around the Commonwealth and surrounding areas in the DLC. So worth having a look if you're interested. Thank you very much for watching, guys.